Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. So Bitcoin has finally decided to take a giant dump to the downside and is literally dragging the rest of the market down with it. The question is what does this mean for the stronger performing alts? Is this going to create a buy the dip scenario in the short to mid term, or are we going to have to be patient through a longer term correction? I'm going to pull up a couple charts here and show you some key areas that I'll be paying attention to. Alright, Chainlink up on the daily chart. But before we begin with Chainlink, I think it's important that we turn our gaze to Bitcoin. As Bitcoin dumps, it usually drags the rest of the market down with it, and I do believe that's the obvious scenario at play right now. Now, regardless of whatever new scenarios may be present today, there are some significant things happening from a price action perspective, and those will be the things I'll be covering in today's video. So a lot of people probably had this mapped out as a symmetrical triangle, but there was another scenario that was at play as well, which is a descending triangle between this liquid zone here and this downsloping resistance line. Either way, if Bitcoin closes right now around the $31,000 mark, both those patterns will be resolved to the downside. Now, I'm personally thinking that there's probably a little bit more downside just yet. There's likely going to be a little bit of follow through here. And I think that's going to be at least down to the 55 exponential moving average, which is coming in around $28,500. Perhaps there's a small bounce rate around there and Bitcoin bounces and perhaps comes back up and tests the bottom side of this liquidity zone, which is coming in around $32,000. But if Bitcoin does continue like a freight train, then I'm going to be looking down to the 89 exponential moving average, which is also coming into confluence with this former liquid zone here that has a top side around $24,500. I think at the very least, this will be a very big area for a bounce, and perhaps Bitcoin even finds its footing there and reaccumulates and starts its bullish trajectory once more. Now, what I can tell you is that I'm not alarmed by this. I'm not freaked out by it. I've been trading cryptocurrency for a long time. I went through the 2017 bubble and then the big bubble burst of that. And I know always, at all times, in the back of my mind that when Bitcoin decides to correct, it does it very hard, very decisively. Things get very bloody. I mean, there's lots of instances where Bitcoin will do up to 40% corrections in bullish conditions, which is one of the only asset classes out there that performs in that savage behavior. So I always have that in the back of my mind. So I'm not all worried about this. I'm not bearish on Bitcoin, as a lot more damage would actually need to be done to this chart before me to feel that way. But it's also notable down below here that the volume coming in on this break, this resolution of this pattern, both patterns, whether it's a symmetrical or descending triangle, is very convincing. I mean, it's taking out the last several days of volume read, getting above the exponential moving average, and all oscillators rhyming and nosediving at this current point, at this current moment in time. Toggling back over to the link chart. So what does this mean for Chainlink? Well, so far Chainlink is taking this fairly well. I know that's funny to say, that being down 15% on the day, but normally when Bitcoin dumps in the manner that is dumping, alts will take a pounding even worse. I mean, we all know that have been here for a long time. If you're new to cryptocurrency, well, welcome to the show. These kinds of things definitely happen. So right now, it looks to me that Chainlink is going to be closing a daily candle body below the 10 simple moving average, but also back inside this overall greater macro range, below the bottom side of this liquid zone, coming in around $18.50. But as of right now, it also looks like it's going to close a daily candle body above the 21. And as anyone that's been following with my videos, I don't get bearish on anything that's opening and closing daily candle bodies above the 21. It would be really nice to see Chainlink pick itself back up off that 21 and get it back above this liquid zone here. But obviously, we're going to have to see what Bitcoin decides to do in the coming weeks. Now, if any daily candle body closures begin to happen below the 21, I'm not going to throw the towel in on Chainlink, but for me, there'll be a lot more sell pressure present at that point in time, and perhaps I'll be looking towards this horizontal here around $16.50. Getting any daily candle body closures below that, I do see the 55 and the 30 simple moving average that will likely come into play, and perhaps that'll be a bounce zone there as well. But of course, getting below those, then I'll be looking to the 89, which is in confluence with this horizontal here down around about pretty close to the $14 mark. Now, for me to get overall bearish on Chainlink, a lot more damage has to get done. I mean, to me, this is just a pullback. I know 16% or 15.5% is. It's considered a crash in most markets, but in cryptocurrency land, that is just a pullback. It's just par for the course. But right now, I'm personally looking at this like potential reaccumulation could be on the horizon. I don't think that's here today, probably not even tomorrow, but over the next few weeks, likely there could be some new buy opportunities here. But of course, I'm not suggesting that to anybody as financial advice, because I'm not a financial advisor. But that's likely how I'm going to be viewing this over the next couple of weeks. Of course, I'll be reassessing reassessing as new price action presents itself and new data emerges. But as of right now, that to me is the most probable scenario until proven otherwise. Down below in the RSI obviously looking not that great, getting kicked out of the bullish control zone, getting below the exponential moving average, and just straight down with its sight set on the edge of the bearish control zone. So we'll have to keep our eye on that as well. And remember, you guys, this is a daily chart, so these things usually take some time to play out as well. I mean, daily charts, I mean, some of these corrections can take weeks to play out, as well as trends as well. So I'm not looking for any of this stuff to happen necessarily overnight. Perhaps some of the worst might be over. Maybe there's another massive drive to the downside, but that's going to be dependent, obviously, on Bitcoin. Stochastics, they're signaling downside pressure right now. It's still in the bullish control zone, but absolutely nosediving. And MACD, massive loss of momentum. So all oscillators are obviously rhyming. I do think this is a very real pullback at the very least. But fear not, Link Marines, as the end is not here just yet. A lot more damage has to get done. There's a lot of things playing defense. These notable moving averages, these notable horizontals. So let's just see how Link decides to hold itself up through this carnage in the coming weekend, as well as into the trading week next week. And we'll be reassessing, and I will be keeping my eyes on this, and I will bring you some updates as more information presents itself. So hope you guys are having a good day regardless of this big pullback. Thanks for checking out this video, and have yourselves a powerful day.